you talk about opportunities within the AOA that many physicians could truly benefit from.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's one of those kind of classic things where there are so many opportunities that people don't necessarily know are even there. One of the ones being that I got involved in was the TIPS Fellowship, which is the Training and Policy Studies Fellowship, which is a 1-year, essentially grant-funded fellowship for mostly like residents and early career physicians who are more interested in learning about how, you know, state and federal policy really impacts patient care, patient delivery, things such as like CMS Medicaid reimbursement and all those things that, you know, especially me as a new physician in practice, I feel like I'm very quickly having to learn all these things. You know, to answer your question specifically, that the AOA does is it gives us an amazing opportunity to use our degree for something not necessarily just surrounding patient care, which is very important, but also, you know, to help impact, you know, physicians, patients on like a much wider scale.
What would you say to other new physicians to, you know, just encourage them to become involved with AOA?
Yeah, so I think a couple things, especially having personally just finished residency, now working as like one of the chief residents in more of like an academic medicine role. You know, residency is such a like hardline delineated thing where you're very much told like where you need to be and when you need to be, which I think is really important, and the emphasis obviously is on your like teaching and professional growth. But I think once you graduate residency and now you're going into, you know, your first job, you have a lot of different expectations, but at the same time there's much less of an onus on your like own personal and professional development. Things are just kind of, you know, you're kind of like tossed into this new world where you're, for one, like the first time in your life, you're kind of in charge of your own direction, right? Which feels very weird and can be a lot. I think what's great about especially like AOA membership, specifically like, so as an osteopathic physician, right, like we have a very integrated community that I think is really important to connect with. Mostly from like a personal but also a professional level. There's so many really unique opportunities specifically like in relationship building that membership can give you that I don't think you get in many other places. And just kind of like going off that a little bit, like you said, as a new physician in practice, I think having those, you know, everyone always talks about like it's about who you know, like type of thing, and I think very much is like the AOA is a place to kind of build those relationships and really kind of foster that sense of community. And as someone who's like newer in practice, I think it's a great place to find like these mentors and people who have, you know, kind of gone through it before, so you really know things that you need to be looking out for. I have a good friend who is joining a practice now, and you know, those, especially like those business sides of things that you never are taught in medical school or in residency, like where do you get that information, right? I think it's those who have come before us and organizations like this one that really like have those opportunities.